Hello, my name is Ekkeking, and this is his chunkness, and this is an RS3 One Chunk Man challenge. Now, what exactly is one chunk man? Well, the RuneScape map is divided into squares, called chunks. I will limit myself to complete all content in these chunks before I can move on to the next chunk. This challenge was inspired by Pookaguy, who did the same challenge on old school RuneScape. However, I thought it would be fun to try and do this on RuneScape 3, as there are some differences to the game. Lumbridge is not exactly the starting chunk in RS3, but I have decided to make it the starting chunk of my challenge. So what does it mean to complete all content in a chunk? Well, I'll show you right here. So in the starting chunk we've got some trees, some oak trees, and right over here at about the edge of the chunk, I'll show you the chunk map later, you see this yew tree, just like in old school RuneScape. So because I can actively get 60 wood cutting before I can actually leave this chunk, I would need to be able to chop this tree, light a yew log, and fletch anything to do with a yew log. But the first chunk ends about here. I've got an image of a chunk map, and honestly it's a bit more difficult because I can't just show you the chunks or mark it off as it's just, the regular RuneScape 3 client. Minor differences that might occur in this first chunk that I think might be the case, that this little farming patch is here, which is always passive because it's a time gated activity, and then I think the chunk ends about across this bridge. Yeah, so I've got the combat arena, which I have to do because it's an achievement of Lumbridge, and then so my chunk is pretty much from here, about the square I'm going about. I just don't get the gate, and then up the hill until Alcared. So what I have to do is I have to complete all the skilling challenges for this chunk. Now, this is not going to be an easy task. Now, what are all these skilling challenges? Well, these would include for me to chop enough trees like this to get 60 wood cutting and to be able to chop the yew tree. Now, other things that I'll have to do is I'll have to look around for quests and all other achievements, as everything I can do in the chunk has to be done. Meaning, I can start Cook's Assistant, however I can't get the fine egg, fine flour, and fine milk that you need in RS3 to complete the quest. However, I can start a quest, meaning it is something active I have to do. Now, what is the difference between active and passive? Well, I'll go into details soon, because it can be quite confusing. I've just gotten my first level, which is now level 2 fire making, by just lighting some logs in a bonfire. So, I guess it's the first level on the account, which is the start of, a long, very, very long journey. I'm gonna be stuck inside of this chunk for a while, and I think I'm about to hit 2 wood cutting here as well. Yeah, there we go. So, currently I am still free to play, so I'm gonna probably try to get a grasp for how I feel about this account and see if I will actually be continuing it, which I hope I will, because it sounds like a fun challenge. I can fletch in RS3. I don't know if it's still locked to level 5, but once I actually need to reach the member stuff, I'll probably become just member, just get myself a bond from my main account and start going that way. So I know cutting the yew tree down is possibly my first thing I'm going to try and achieve. I do not think there's any other thing I can do except for do the combat arena in this chunk. So once I've completed that, I will be randomly rolling a new chunk. So my adjacent chunks would be this chunk right over here, which I'll show you later on a map, which I can unlock, which would unlock me the docks here, I think. Yeah, it does, which actually would allow me to go to Demon Island for if I ever unlock a third chunk. Then there's this chunk, which is, you know, the giant crater that, you know, made RS3 with the whole, you know, what was it again? Saradomin and Zamorak fight. Then there's the Alcarid first chunk, which is quite different from old school, because I think I actually get some extra stuff in it. It's not too different, but I think stuff is just in different places. And then the chunk above here, which is probably the chunk I want, because there's nothing special in there except for find flower. No, not just a fine egg, I think. Yeah, so it's nothing much there, but it's gonna be a hassle to get through this first chunk anyways. Right, so this is the RS3 chunk map. So as you can see, everything's divided in chunks. I got this chunk map from Imgur, from a user called Humanoid Typhoon, if I'm correct on that. I'll probably leave a link to the map in the description, so you can all just get to it and see it. So yeah, so this is my starting chunk. As you can see, the Udre just gets in it. Like you can see here, if you can barely see it here, the Bloodbag building just falls outside of the chunk, so I don't have to do the Bloodbag quest, which, I mean, I don't really care. Probably would have been a good combat training map. So yeah, this is the map. So once I complete this chunk, all the content in this chunk, there's probably some extra content I'll explain I have to do. I can roll a new chunk. So I can roll this chunk, which will be chunk 1, chunk 2, chunk 3, and chunk 4, because I'll go clockwise. So I just roll a random one, and let's say I roll chunk 3, I'll unlock this chunk. So what does that unlock me? It unlocks me fishing, it would unlock me mining, and I do have a furnace, so which means I have to mine, I have to make a bronze bar and do some stuff, but I think it also unlocks me best in slot equipment, which I'll go about later, because of the bronze, because we do have an anvil in the building, unlike old school. And then, for example, I've got anchovy here, which might require me to fish here, but however, I do think the fishing store is just outside it, so it might not, but it could be. So yeah, that's one of the things. So yeah, so this chunk, I'll just have to pretty much get the yew tree chopped, put it on fire with a tinderbox, and then just, I don't know, make like arrow shafts. Just has to be the lowest level thing I can make with it. So yeah, so if I unlock this chunk, I'll just have to see what I can do in it. It's probably not much. I think it's quite that chunk for me, because I haven't unlocked any other chunks. But it could potentially unlock me some stuff, I know, if I would unlock these 3 chunks here. So just, you know, above and underneath Lumbridge, I'm gonna look the buyers and sellers quest. It's right in the chunk here, which then would require me to go to Feather Eric, or whatever his name is, or I don't know. Don't honestly remember. Probably can't pronounce it anyways, because I need to steal something from him. I think it is really kept to these 3 chunks, that quest, so that's something that, for example, I have to complete, and I'd have to like bring in the little egg that I can get there. But yeah, so this is the map. It's not an exact map of RS3. There are some things that are missing, other thing that's changed, because this map's a bit old, so it's not exactly right, but if I'll ever get to a point I could roll a chunk that's not on it, which I think's only the Archaeology Islands, or whatever they're called, I'll just see about it that way when it happens. Yeah, I think that's pretty much it. I've covered the map with that. Right, so after looking about for a bit, I've gathered some intel about the chunk, just been chopping some trees here and there. So fletching is a free skill in RuneScape 3, which probably makes stuff some way easier for me. So I instantly become member yet, and I can like complete the hardest challenge in this chunk. before anything really. That makes me quite happy that I don't instantly have to become a member and I can have a feeling from people will feel about this challenge. Because even though I'm doing it for fun, if people don't really like it, I might just think of something else to do, something else to make a video about it. I don't know, maybe I'll try it on old school, which it's been done before. If I do that, I'd probably do it more in like a Link's Ocarina style, where it's like every 25 levels he unlocks a new chunk. Because I think that's probably a bit more realistic. Because old school, it's a bit different. It's because there's already a few people who've done the one chunk one challenge, like the first chunk, like Pookaguy and Pelipper osrs. They've done it. So I don't see why I'd do it the exact same way, but yeah, so that's probably something. Other things I've noticed is the highest hatchet in Lumbridge is adamant, so I have to be able to put that in my tool belt because I have to get a best in slot tool, which tools cannot be used as weapons. I'm just gonna say that. I'm not gonna allow myself to do that because that's just the way it is. Because I have to get every best in slot equipment. The one thing I don't know if I'm gonna make part of challenges, if I have to get the best in slot equipment, do I have to wear the best in slot equipment? I might not. Just see if anyone gives any feedback on that. So even though I might unlock a second chunk, I'll just have to come back into this chunk to I'll get 40 attack, which I don't think is really possible. So that's why I don't quite want to do that. I think getting, 60 wood cutting with this chunk on its own is going to be enough of a pain. So yeah, it does have some throwing axes as well. So that's probably my best in slot ranged equipment. Again, I'm not gonna have to wear that. I'm just gonna have to unlock it, be able to buy it. There is an Emerald pickaxe, which I guess I should buy, but I can't really use it yet, so I don't know how I want to go about that. If I want to break any rules about equipment, so I might make it a rule that I have to, get 40 attack and 40 range, I think, in this chunk, which would be a pain because I can only really train on land. But I might have some easy rules where, like in the first 10 chunks, I have to unlock the best in slot weapon, but I don't have to equip it yet because it's probably gonna be quite rough to train any combat in this chunk. So yeah, I think that's really about it. I'll probably show another equip when I unlock another milestone, like maybe able to chop an oak or whatever. Yeah. Right, here's the epic battle people have been waiting for, that I talked about before. Men versus this madman is drunkenness with his 2 bronze daggers. Yeah, so it's gonna be an epic battle. It's gonna be the face off of a century. I just clipped right through him. So yeah, here we go. Right, this is the way to eat. That was way more anticlimactic than I thought it was, and apparently I got a charge bow. So I can train ranged in this chunk. Yay! Well, yeah, that was apparently the epic battle I had to complete in this chunk, which now isn't the epic battle anymore because now I've got to feed a cow. So yeah, it's probably next thing you'll see, epic battle with a cow. So I just hit my first milestone, it's chunkness, just got 15 wood cutting. As you see, I've chopped an oak, so I've unlocked that now. However, I don't have 15 fire making, nor fletching yet. So I can't quite get to chopping oaks yet, even though it would be great because I can kind of statically chop them, unlike I'm just running around the river pretty much now. So I might just go up in Lumbridge Castle, light those logs that are up there, those spores that are up there. I think they're there in RS3 as well. And then once I've done that, I'll check, see if it's any good. If it is slow, I'll probably just stick with chopping logs for a bit longer. One thing I noticed when I looked at Bob's shop is that hatchets are quite expensive. Like, I know it's like 250 GP in old school for steel hatchet. It's like not a case, it's like 2k for the iron one. Which isn't great. However, the one thing you get in RS3 is if you've got a tool and you add it to your tool belt, it'll use the previous tool. So if I add the adamant hatchet, but I can only use metal, I will only use a metal, even though it's an adamant one. So yeah, that's quite good, I suppose. So yeah, I'll just see you on the next clip, see what I'm doing. Probably upstairs in Barrock doing some stuff there. So yeah. So I just hit 15 fire making up here. That went quite quick. I wasn't very far off. So I think I'm just gonna see how fast the fletching goes. There's a banker anyway, so I can bank very quickly. So I'll see how quickly I can get up to 15 fletching, which is quite slow because it only gives 5 XP a log. Right, another little update. We are about to hit 10 fletching. How you like 10 fletching? What's 10 fletching? You said 15 Ekkeking. What's the 10 about? I can now make shield bows. So I hope this makes fletching quicker than it does, because now I got 10 XP instead of 5 XP, which will make this twice as quickly, because I'm already getting tired of picking up these logs, and then, you know, fletching them, bring them to the bank, pick them up again, doing it all over. Even though I've not been in for that long, it feels like it's been ages, just feels like it's been forever. So as you guys can see, I'm about to hit 15 fletching, which means I can do oak trees now. So I will have to make arrow shots, so I don't know how fast that is. So if that's slow, I'll probably have to come back up here and do this for a bit. So while I was up here, I made 179 short bows and 126 shield bows. I'm just gonna sell them, and then I'm just gonna chop some oaks, see what it gives XP wise, and you know, probably get 30 wood cutting, and then, well, probably more, because I'll have to get 30 fire making and 30 fletching. So that's what I'm going to be doing next. I'll probably give you an update when I'm at like level 30 or like 20, 25, or if I get like something else happening, like I don't know, being able to buy like a tool or whatever. I've just hit 20 fletching. I tested out the oak logs into oak shafts, well, arrow shafts, but that only gives 7.5 XP, unlike the 10 XP the shield bows give. So I thought I'll just stick with it for a little longer. It didn't take me too long, so I'm done with that now. I should be able to make willows, oak bow use. So yeah, with that my XP should go higher. I should be able to go back to chopping some wood. So I'm at oaks, no more regular logs, which means I'm a step closer to use. I've still got willows in it, which is quite good because I think willows in the end is the best way to train woodcutting to 60 anyways. I don't think that changes that much in RS3. There's probably ways in RS3, all I'm saying. There's loads of shit in this game that no one really cares about. So yeah, I'm gonna sell it all now. Still 179 short bows and then 334 shield bow use. So I'm gonna see how much money I can make from that. See if I can buy something with it, and then get on the oak grind. As you can see, I'm doing the oaks now. People know RS3 will have noticed that I'm all of a sudden chopping with a steel hatchet. So I bought an adamant hatchet with the money I had. There was the adamant pickaxe, which I considered buying even though I caught mine, and then there were the adamant throwing axes combat, which I considered buying as well, because I do need to get the best slot, even though I don't need to equip it. I need to own it to progress to the next chunk. So yeah, I've added it to the tool belt, so now As soon as I'll hit 21 woodcutting, I'll start using mithril. At 31, I'll start using the adamant, which is gonna make woodcutting considerably faster than it would for like Pookaguy when he did it with just a steel hatchet. So I've got the advantage there on artistry. So yeah, I'll see you on the next big thing that happens. I've just been chopping some oak trees here, and I've unlocked 21 woodcutting now. It doesn't seem particularly interesting, but it does unlock me a better hatchet. So now I'm using the mithril hatchet, so it's not big of an update, but again it'll speed the grind up a little bit. So I've just hit 101 total, because I missed 100. You know, like every good YouTuber does, which you know I'm absolutely not, but whatever. And yeah, that's, you know, I guess a big milestone for some people, you know, I rounded up 100, you know, only like 2,600 more levels to go until I max, which, to be fair, ain't happening, but yeah, that's something interesting that just happened. So, also just mentioning, sometimes when I say I'm going to do something, I might not instantly do it, because I've noticed that I lost like one or two of my clips, like an epic face-off with a cow, which I'll have to redo, which I'm extremely sad about, because there's no way I can capture the beauty of that fight again. And I think I lost one more clip. I don't quite exactly know what happened in that one, so I can't really fill you on that one, but yeah, if sometimes something like that happens, I'll probably just re-record it and put it at the end of the video. But yeah, just noticed that going through some of the clips I filmed while I'm editing it. So yeah, I'm almost at 30, I suppose, with fire making. So yeah, once I hit 30 on that, I'll be done with fire making for a while, and I'll just go over to fletching. Still got quite a few woodcutting levels to go, so I might just hit a 30. Maybe I need to go 35 for short bows again to get good XP rates, but yeah, I think gun's starting to move somewhat quickly, even though I'm only at like, you know, I can quickly see it. Can't see it here. I'm only at like, you know, 3% over the way 60. So yeah, so I've got a lot of grinding to do. We're about to hit 30 fire making. I am very glad that RS3's got bonfires, because it does make fire making a bit easier, a bit more AFK. It's not as click intensive as it would be on osrs, which I like. I like the bonfire system, even though it's quite boring from time to time if you're doing long grinds, but I've got loads of levels coming up, so because of that it's still fun. So it's only one more now, and then I'll hit the 30. There we go. Level 30 fire making, you know, halfway there, right? Because that's how RuneScape works. Yeah, halfway there. So what I unlocked is I just unlocked some stuff requests, and then just willow logs. I do not know what incense sticks are, so if anyone can fill me in on that, I'd be happy with that, because I've not played R3 in a while. I've jumped in here and there on my other Ironman, but yeah, so I'm not up to date with all the R3 stuff, so I've still gotta learn some of it again. But yeah, so 30 fire making, so now I'll head to fletching, and I'll hit 30 on that, and hopefully I'm still somewhat close to 30 woodcutting. It doesn't really matter too much if I get more levels, because in the end, if I ever have to chop a magic tree down, I'll be closer. Or if I have to like get a chunk with ivy in it, because I know Varrock has it, and it needs 68 woodcutting, so it's probably good if I get a little more XP anyways. But yeah, I'm gonna go on the fletching grind now, and hoping this gives quite a decent amount of XP, which it does. It's great. 17, 16 and a half I think it is. Yeah, so that's gonna be considerably faster than before. However, that does give less XP than one of the logs, so I'm definitely gonna be hitting a bit higher on the woodcutting, but that's not too much of an issue. lads, these are 15 GP each. 15 GP. Bang is made. But on a more serious note, yeah, I think the the longbow use, shield bow use, because you know they're not longbows anymore in this game, they're shield bows, for 18, but 15 GP a pop will be quite nice for me because it will start building my cash tag up a little bit, meaning I can buy that adamant pickaxe soon because I think it's about 6k. So I'll definitely hit that. So I'm still thinking about the whole combat thing if I'll do it. I might give it a shot and see how it goes, and then decide there. Because I mean, once I unlock the chunk south of this chunk, there's this little catacombs area, and there's a lot of combat training there. So if I'm in that one, I wouldn't mind too much, just because I got a GAT 40 ranged. I don't think I need 40 attack, but I do need 40 range, which with that little charge bar I've got could be quite a grind, but I'll give it an attempt anyways. I think at the end of the video when I've done everything else, I'll see how long that will potentially take me, and then I'll probably make a decision on how I want to do that. Right, we just hit 30 wood cutting, which means we can chop willows now. However, we still got some fletching levels to do, so we'll have to stick with oaks for a bit longer, but yeah, that is now unlocking our Festus and lost wood cutting meta until, you know, we're going to be chopping that beautiful yew tree which keeps us in this chunk. So yeah, I'm only at 23, but at 25 I think I unlock shield bows. So my XP like should go up by like 50% a bow, if it's not 50%, 100%. So if it doubles like that, that'd be brilliant, but anything more will make this a bit quicker. So yeah, I'll probably see you when I unlock shield bows then. So apparently at level 24 we unlock oak stocks. So I don't even know if regular logs had that, I just completely missed it and I missed out on XP. But yeah, I'm gonna see if that gives any more XP. It's a level 24. Don't know why I didn't notice that right over here. That was even there. It is 25 for the shield bow, so I'll only probably be doing it for a level. And I think it gives less XP, however, it only gives half XP less. So I am just quickly going to check what would make me the most money. Now, if I could make bronze, I would put the little limbs on it, because that will give me some XP and you know it will help me along the way. So it gives me less money, gives me less XP, so it's pretty much useless to me. So I'll just continue with the short bows for another level, which isn't too much of an issue. I got excited for nothing. Sad life. So we've just hit 25 fletching, which means we can now make the oak shield bows and I can apparently do the family trials, which is a lot of chunks away. So yeah, we can make the shield bows now. And I also realized I'm an idiot. I could have seen how much XP this gives me because it says it. So yeah, 25 XP a bow from now on instead of 16.5. So that is significantly better. And I'm gonna hatch it by the way. I just hit 30 fletching, which means the oak grind's done, I think. No, it's not, apparently. That is peculiar. I also had 35 wool cutting, that's where I'm at. Let me have a quick look. I swear. Yeah, well, a short bow, that's a bit odd. I'm very confused with that. I can make arrow shafts out of willow logs, however it's only 10 XP, so I don't think that's worth it. So I think I'm just gonna burn this inventory like I've been doing, and then I'm gonna continue doing some oaks until I'm 35. I might just get 60 fire making first so I can chop the oaks faster. Yeah, I'm not certain what I'll do there. I mean, you'll know in a few seconds anyways, but yeah, I've got to think about that. Just 40 wood cutting on the oaks, because I've been continuing doing the oak shield bows to get 35 fletching. So yeah, just hit 40 wood cutting. Right, we just hit 35 fletching, which means we've unlocked willow short bows, which means we can now move on to willows. We're currently 14% of the way for wood cutting. Well, we just got a wood cutting level, that's quite funny that, but yeah, we're only 5% away for fire making, but we've currently unlocked our best meta, which is probably gonna mean it's not gonna get any faster than it is now, except for the little bonuses you get from a level here and there. So now the long grind, the 60, is gonna come along for all 3 skills. Right, so I just hit 45 wood cutting, which means I would be able to cut any maples, but in this chunk there aren't any. I'm gonna have to stick with willows, but it's just another little milestone on the way. I've just hit 40 fletching, which means we can now make willow shield bows, which will definitely increase the speed of the fletching levels, which will be quite nice. Wood cutting is getting ahead of the other skills because I've only really been doing fletching since I've got to willows, which is a lot slower XP wise. So I might just quickly get some fire making levels in to get that up, but yeah, I'm definitely gonna have a higher wood cutting level at the end of this. So I'm just about to hit 50 wood cutting, which means, you know, we're halfway to 99. Also something I'm very close to, which I'll hit here as well now, is 40 fire making. So I just hit 2 even numbers again. So 50 wood cutting's 36% of the way at 60. So I'm getting closer to hitting the U tree, but the levels now are getting slower because the base before was quite alright, but the XP caps are getting bigger now. But fletching and fire making still have quite a bit of catching up to do, so I'm assuming to hit about 66 wood cutting by the end of this. So I've done some big grinding. I've gotten myself up to 50 fire making, 50 fletching, which got me to 58 wood cutting. So I think getting 66 wood cutting is probably gonna be what I'm gonna be stuck at. Fire making's been going really quickly because it just gives more XP than fletching does. And then fletching is just slow. You get less fletching XP than you get from cutting the log. The one thing that's a bit annoying is there's only one willow tree in Lumbridge, which I think there's 2 in old school. So once it despawns, I like have to make fire, or I just have to start fletching just to wait for it to respawn. Another thing, if you've looked at my stats, is I've got 28 ranged, because I tested out if getting 40 ranged would really be good and be possible in this chunk, and I've been training on goblins and like TMP here and there at sea to get the beats for if I ever unlock M-Catcher, and I think I can get 40 ranged on the goblins for the adamant throwing access, which is nice, which means I don't really have to make any rules about, oh, I'm not gonna get 40 ranged because it's a pain. So I'm gonna be doing that. It wasn't too bad. I'm 28% of the way, which is quite funny because we're level 28. But yeah, I mean, I've still got about 3/4 left to do with it, but it's definitely doable. I do have to get 10 attack as well. Set that as well because the iron dagger that spawns around the goblins. So that's another thing I figured out. I have to get, and then I think once I hit 60 in these, and then the whatever I have in wood cutting, the chunk's pretty much over. The one thing I can still do, because I do need to do the combat arena, is I could put the XP on ranged to get 40 quicker. I think I'm not going to. I'm going to try and put it on prayer, because prayer is quite important for me. So if I don't have to claim the reward, which I think you don't, I might leave the rewards there, because you get rewards for doing it. And that way I can just save up to get a bit more XP. I don't know if I can, but I'm going to try to. And then I've been thinking about some rules here and there to implement, but I'll probably talk about those later because I haven't fully thought them out yet. But one of them, for example, is maybe blacklisting chunks. If I unlock like 20 chunks or 10 chunks, I'll be able to blacklist a chunk. Now, it sounds weird why I would, but I've got my reasons for it because if, for example, if I once I become member, around here somewhere, don't exactly know where, I think it's here, this one here, there's a God Wars dungeon too, and if I unlock that, it could be quite a pain because I'd have to defeat Telos, I'd have to get all the tier 85 armors, because I have to first get the tier 80 armors and then get the essences to make it into tier 85 for the RS3 people that know all about it. I'll explain it further in depth if there's still any old school RuneScape people watching, which I'd be surprised about. But if you are, thank you. But yeah, so I might think about that. And there's minor things like I might have to blacklist this chunk here because of the invention workshop, which means if I unlock it, do I have to unlock invention? Which is why I was thinking of maybe making a rule I do not have to unlock invention, but I don't know how fair that is. And, you know, little stuff like that. I would make it that I can only do it if I unlock certain chunks. Because, like, if I unlock 10 chunks, I can blacklist a chunk. And then other rules that I've been thinking about, I've not fully committed to yet, or want to see if I want to talk about them, is group bossing. Because RS3 is quite a lot of group bossing. You've got Ekkeking, you've got Virago, you've got Angel of Death, and then other bosses like next to me are still a group boss. So stuff and the elite dungeons that I might make a rule that I do not have to do them. I have to unlock them but not do them because it's a bit annoying if I have to get a group together and all that, because I kind of want this to be an account on its own thing. So I doubt I'll be doing any of those, but if any of you got feedback on that, on stuff I might need to do extra or want to skip, because it's just a bit hard on a solo Ironman on this game. It's gonna be quite hard to do, so if any of you got any input on that, I'd like you to let me know in the comments so that I can improve the series further on, because RuneScape 3 is not exactly the same as old school RuneScape where there's not as many group bosses. I know there's some in old school, but it's much of a bigger thing in RuneScape 3. So yeah, if you've got anything you want to add to the rules or think it's a great idea to do, let me know and I'll see if I can add it in. 250 total. We just hit 60 woodcutting, which means we can finally chop that year tree, but we're still not done because we still need to get the 60 fire making and fletching to finish the active objective. We have made some extra progress. We've got 55 fletching and 55 fire making, so they've only got 5 levels left to go. Still quite a big chunk of XP, but it's nothing that's not gonna be doable. Just a few extra hours chopping the willow tree and burn them. So now little things is, while I've been chopping, I've just been killing imps here and there. I've killed about 49 because I've got 49 empires. There's a few I couldn't pick drops up from because they teleported out when I killed them. So teleported out of chunks, I couldn't really get their drops. So I finally got all the beads if I ever do unlock the Wizard's Tower chunk to complete the imp catcher. Another thing I got from the goblins was I got some goblin mail. I think I only need about 4 in the whole playthrough, but just gonna keep these along. And then I've just organized my bank a little. I've got a full set of wizard ropes, which is my best in slot mage armor I can get in the chunk with the air staff. There's no melee or ranged armor to get. There's only the iron dagger, which you need to get 10 attack for, and then the adamant hatchets, the adamant throwing axes from Bob's store. I'm 9 levels away from that because since farming the imps a little bit with the little trick I found to do it so much easier, I got about a level from it. I was quite close to the level I think to begin with. So now I just need to get 40 range so I can equip these axes. So I've completed the ranged requirement for the chunk. Another thing I'm quickly gonna get here now is a adamant pickaxe, and I have just noticed there's an adamant battle axe. Oh, so I need to get 40 attack, and yeah, 40 attack. Oh, that's gonna be a pain. Didn't even know about that. So yeah, that's gonna be way worse than getting the range level up, because I've actually got to be running around. Oh, I did not prepare for that. Oh, I'm quite upset at the moment. Well, I mean, it's a good thing I noticed it now, because otherwise people would have just noticed it for me and been like, you've not completed the chunk. You forgot to do this, so yeah. So yeah, I've got my adamant pickaxe for if I ever need it. Right, yeah, but I wanted to add it to the tool belt. Oh, apparently that's not a thing. So apparently you just can't add the pickaxe, but you could add the hatchet. So I'm a bit confused about that one. So I might just have to get in between ones. So yeah, that's a bit of a pain. So I'm just gonna put everything I can't use in this tab over here I'm making. Oh, see, when you're doing this, stuff doesn't always go the way you want it to. So yeah, this adamant dagger is useless to me now. So yeah, scrap the level 10 dagger. Set it to level 40. So now I don't know if I'm gonna get any strength levels. So I'm only fighting goblins, so it's not really gonna change things in the long run. So yeah, that's a bummer. I think 40 attack is gonna be a pain. So now that I've set myself up to do this all, I need to equip the best in slot. I've just royally screwed myself over. So yeah, I guess I'll get on grinding that a little bit now. And I'll see you guys if anything else interesting happens. Just hit 300 total while I was training attack. Just hit 29. It's pretty close to what my range level is. It's a bit more annoying than the ranged, even though it's not much slower, because I can like use the steel ones I'm using now, and at level 30 I can use Mithril. This is one of those moments where I would have wanted Adamant to still be level 30 and Rune 40, unlike it's now 40 and 50. 40 for Adamant, 50 for Rune. So that's a bit annoying, but I've got to deal with it, otherwise I would have already pretty much been done with this. I've also got a few prayer levels. Something I've also been doing is there's these spiders running around. They drop spider silk. So what you can do with spider silk is you can make it's the spider silk armor, which is level 20 armor for magic. The reason I'm gathering it is for if I ever unlock a chunk where I can actively train crafting in, I'll have to make the spider silk because I can actively get it. I will always get it when I kill a spider. So I have to get the lowest crafting level to craft anything out of it. But I'd probably have to get it to the max level of it, because each piece of spider silk is probably gonna be my highest tier weapon. So that's why I've probably gotta get around 30 crafting. So the more spider silk I get the quicker it will go. I did the same with the imps, that's why I kept the imp hide, because it will become best in slot at one point, because even though imps are a bit rarer than the spiders are, because of the way they spawn, I can still actively farm them, which means it's a primary component. So yeah, I'm just grinding my way to 40. Once I hit 30, I might go back to chopping some trees again and see if we can get that 60 fire making and fletching. And then, yeah, once I've done that, I'll probably gonna start doing all the tasks I can, because I need to actively do them. The only thing I'm still thinking about is only completing quests I can actively finish, so I wouldn't have to start a quest if I can't finish it, because that's not really much of a point. If I can't complete it, is it really an active thing to do in the chunk? But it could be argued against that. I would have to, because I can potentially complete the step. So I don't quite know what I want to do with that. I mean, in the first chunk I can't complete any quests, and all the quests I can start are Myths of the White Lens, Cook Assistant, and the Restless Ghost. And none of them can be completed, so that's why I wouldn't really see the point of me having to accept the quest. But I'm just gonna think about it. Because for these quests it doesn't really matter, because they're very short quests. But RS3 has some very lengthy quests. And a lot of them get into instance places where I wouldn't really have to roll chunks for, because they're either in caves or they're just in an instance I get teleported to. As such, they wouldn't count as a chunk, that would just be considered as something I own, because it's an instance. So I don't quite know what I want to do with that. I might just start the quest now and see if anyone's got an opinion on if I should start the quest and complete it for as far as I could, or if I should just do a quest as soon as I'm done with it. After a long grind, we hit 40 attack, so we can finally equip that adamant weaponry. So that's another goal off the list. And finally, we have these adamant battle axes, which means I can get rid of these mithril ones. And this was a seriously annoying grind. It's not like it took very long compared to like getting 60 woodcutting. The problem with it was just that I was trying to get as many prayer loves as I could, and trying to get as many like drops as I could very quickly. So by putting the bone on my ability bar, I could just instantly drop them, kind of like shift clicking on osrs. And by doing that, I was always picking up all the junk items, which my bank's full of, like all the beers. I got rid of a load of them, all these salvages and all that. I can get rid of these as well. And yeah, so it was just annoying because at the end I had to bank so much, it just wasn't getting levels anymore. So I kind of just gave up on that and tried to just cherry pick the bones out of the drops and just bury them when I can. So I've still got to do the range, which is probably going to be very similar. But with range I can be sort of stationary because I can hit all the goblins from one spot and I'm not going to be running about. I'm not certain if I'll get any strength levels because it's not really required. So what I'm not going to do now is I am just going to put my melee combat XP to go to strength if I can find it. Where are you? You're right over here. I'm going to put that on strength, so now whenever I'm training melee, I will be getting strength XP, because the next time I'll have to train attack is when I unlock like rune equipment, which is probably the next thing I'll unlock. I don't think there's anything in between, unless I like for some reason unlock an easily gettable dragon weaponry, which is only really Xanaris and stuff where I can buy it, or where is it, Orichalcite, which is new, which is level 60 as well. So gonna be quite alright with these adamant battle axes for a while, which looking together they just look like one giant X with two handles, which is quite weird. But yeah, now I've done that, I can just continue going with the bow, which is probably gonna take a while because the reason it was going quite quick and I was one-shotting everything was because the mithril ones, they just gave a boost to my, like I got a pretty big boost of the weapon. The charge bow is not like that. Well, yeah, the charge bow is better than the shield bow drop I got once with bronze arrows, because their damage together is lower than what the charge bow is. The charge bow is still not really one-shotting stuff, so it's not optimal, but we'll probably try to get that to 39 and then see if we can get the last kill on a cow. Or we'll just kill the cow now while we're here to show you. that I've killed every mob, so I'm pretty certain I've now killed all the mobs in this chunk. So the scav's usually not outside, but it's almost let out. So yeah, I've pretty much killed every mob now. So that's also now off the list. So now I just gotta get 40 ranged, 60 fletching, 60 fire making. And what I need to do then is chop the yew, light a fire with that yew, fletch some arrow shafts, do all my tasks I can, do the combat training arena, and then finish up by starting all the quests. I don't know if Myths of the White Land is instanced from the beginning, so I might have to complete it. I think I have to go trainer, but yeah, I'll have to look into that. Just hit 60 fletching, which is probably the biggest grind in this chunk. Still got hit 60 fire making, but that's not going to be as big of a grind as it just goes way quicker. Every log gives more XP. I'm already at 67 wood cutting, which I didn't thought I was going to get. I thought it was going to be way lower. So yeah, 60 fire making is probably the next thing I'll get. Then I'll follow it up by getting 40 ranged, and then I'll just get all the tasks done and do the combat arena, and then you can roll for new chunk. So we're about to hit 40 ranged. So when we've got that, we'll finally have that ranged requirement out of the way. And then all we need is one more fire making level. And then we'll be able to pretty much leave this chunk. Just gotta do some activities like the task, the achievement system. And yeah, then we can start rolling a new chunk and we'll see what I get. This is me quickly equipping the adamant battle axes to show you that I can actually wear them. So yeah, we've got that 40 range, which means we can wear it. It's a requirement for a lot of stuff, so if we ever actually unlock flex, we might be able to make ourselves use short bow. I don't know if we can make equip a use shield bow yet, but we'd probably train for that. So yeah, we can equip those adamant hatchets. Well, throwing hatchets, throwing axes. So ranged was actually a lot worse than attack, purely because, well, attack I had weapons that actually did damage. This little charge bow I had, it does no damage. It's probably pretty much what I'm still going to be using, because I'm not going to buy a bunch of these adamant throwing axes unless I need to defeat like, some sort of boss with range from quest, which probably won't unlock anytime soon. So yeah, I'm equipping them. I've completed that. Um, I've completed that objective, and then now all I need is one more fire making level, just 10% of the whole grind of it, and then yeah, we're done with this chunk. So we are about to hit 60 fire making, which is a big deal because that's the last killing requirement we need to complete this chunk. So yeah, that's 60 fire making in the bag now. So once I've finished this inventory, I'll just quickly run to the tree, chop it down, get 2 logs, fletch some arrow shafts, light one of them to show you I have chopped the yew tree, I have lit it, and I've fletched something from them. And then yeah, after that I'll just accept all quests, do all achievements, complete the combat training arena, and then we will be re-rolling a chunk, which is very exciting. I'm happy I can leave this chunk. It's not just something I'd want to be stuck in. I know I'm not probably unlocking anything major, but anything's better than nothing. The chunk I want to unlock, I don't think it matters. There's only one chunk I don't want to unlock, and that's the Alcarid one, because I think it doesn't help me at all. The other chunks either fully dead, or I think they're fully dead, or they let me do a quest, or let me make some armor, or whatever. I don't quite know, because I've got to look into them, and this is taking absolutely forever to get 2 logs. There we go. So now let's light that log. Beautiful. And then let's fletch some arrow shafts. And we have just completed every skilling requirement of this chunk. and that is very exciting to me. So yeah, now we'll just get to completing all the tasks and all achievements, all quests starts and all achievements, and enter the combat training arena, and then yeah, we'll be rolling like I said. Apparently I can't do the combat training arena, so I guess don't have to do it. If anyone knows why I can't do it anymore, let me know and I'll see if I can fix it, but yeah, it's just not allowing me to do it, so I'm just gonna be rolling a new chunk now. Right, so we're about to roll a new chunk. So how we're gonna do is I've marked them all with a number 1, 2, 3, 4, because I'm going clockwise. Then we're gonna go to random.org. I've already set it up 1 to 4, generate, and I roll chunk 1. Now, what was chunk 1? This is chunk 1, meaning I've now unlocked this extra chunk, meaning I can get into the cow pen. I think I can pluck potatoes. So I don't know if that unlocks anything cooking wise. It does get me the fine milk and the fine egg, I think, for the cook's assistant quest. And it unlocks me buyers and sellers part of it, meaning I'll have to become a member now. Yeah, it's not a bad chunk to have unlocked. I mean, it's not the perfect chunk, but I mean, it's definitely not a bad chunk. I've also unlocked the gold statue, which I'm quite happy about, and I've unlocked the ham hideout because that's over here now in RS3. So don't know if I've got anything relating to that to do. But yeah, we've unlocked chunk number 1. So at the moment, this is our playing area. So I think in the next episode, I'll probably do that chunk, roll a new chunk, and then probably play through that chunk as well. Because I'm kind of trying to do one chunk an episode, but not every chunk's like Lumbridge where there's loads to do. So it might be like 2 chunks maybe, or 3 chunks some episodes. So yeah, it's a good start. It's definitely one of the 2 chunks I wanted to unlock because I either want 1 or 3. So I'm quite happy about that. I wouldn't have minded 4 because I think that's literally just an absolutely that chunk. So yeah, I'm quite happy with that. Making our way over to Varrock. Yeah, I don't think there's anything special in this chunk, but I'll have a look and I'll probably tell you next episode what's gonna happen. That's all I've got for this video. That was episode 1 of the One Chunk Man Challenge on RS3. I hope you enjoyed. Leave a comment so I can know what you think about it, how you want me to continue it. Tell me if you want me to properly go over the rules in episode 2 at the beginning, because it's probably going to be a bit shorter and I'm not going to have to use as much time as I did for this one, as I did spend quite a few hours on this video doing the gameplay, and then I've never really edited it before, so I had to learn all that from scratch. So yeah, I'd appreciate if you'd leave your feedback, and I hope I'll see all you guys in episode 2.